Homeworthy. I'm Cher Beall. Welcome back to my home in Newport Beach, California. I'd love to share with you how I decorated some spaces for Valentine's Day and then take you into my craft room and show you some fun Valentine crafts. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
So welcome to my formal entry. And on this mirrored table, if you remember at Christmas time, we had teal boxes and our holiday decor. And so all we had to do for Valentine's Day was change out our boxes. We've added red boxes that also work for Christmas, and little teeny vases and candles. And these little vases are just so lovely and charming. These are from Cody Foster, this lovely ornament distributor out of Nebraska. And so they just do lovely ornaments and lovely little vases. And these are from them, and we just scattered a few throughout to give us a little holiday Valentine celebration look. And then we just had our normal everyday sort of flowers or branches, vintage books and shells, but the look is just very simple, very quick to change out, and definitely announces it's Valentine's Day. So coming from the formal entry of the house, we go into the private spaces of the house, the family room and dining kitchen area. And so right in the center of this space, I have just this fun round table with a shellstone top, and I use this for serving and then also to decorate for different holidays. So I know at Christmas, you might remember we used the exact same branches and faux bois base, but see how totally different it looks when you adorn it with all these fun Valentine ornaments. So these have been collected over the years, and then, you know, some bought more recently as well. So super fun, festive, and say love and Valentine's Day. Then of course we have fresh flowers, our little box trick again, and our birds with flowers. And then this is kind of super fun. We have little bugs next to our flowers. These are actually fun ornaments that you can buy and that hang up, but I like them on my table and by my flower vases. I just think they add this little whimsical, fun, playful, funny touch to things. So the ornaments that I think are particularly funny, I kind of place by themselves and usually cut the top off. I mean, a pug and a chair and a pink velvet chair. I mean, just funny, funny stuff. Anyway, so just fun stuff, playful, and says, oh, it's Valentine's Day, let's celebrate love. So this is actually our casual dining space. It's right open to the kitchen, but this is the space that we use the most often in terms of any family celebration or holiday. Our family is growing. We have a lot of grandchildren now and older kids, and so our numbers are multiplying, and so we need a big table when everyone gets together. So I have this set up as an idea for Valentine's Day. We started with not a red tablecloth, but sort of a muted tone, gray, fun little plates, dogs on the plates, funny things all over this woven pattern tablecloth. And then we've topped it with vintage napkins. So these are little antique guys, our Vietre dishes and a little gray dish. And then I actually used, this is wedding stationery, a wedding type stationery, but I've used them as note cards on my table setting as a place setting, but then also because it's Valentine's Day and I wanted to send little notes of love, I have the little card inside that will be addressed to each person sitting here with why I love them so much. So these will be at every place setting. And then in addition, we have all kinds of flowers and candles, sort of a mixture of pink and peach and white. And we've got our little bird vases, tiny vases, crystal vases. Most of these things are readily available, easily available. And then in addition, we've got each little place setting topped with just a little craft box that we wrapped with a velvet ribbon, put a sticker on top, and this is the little table surprise. So something very simple and fun, and I like to do this, and you'll see as we go through our other little fun table settings. So it's just little box with a fun little pink chocolate inside. Just funny little surprises that the kids particularly love, but sort of amuse me too. A couple other fun things to note about the table setting, the details, and it's all in the details. We have butterflies on our flowers and then also around the room in various spaces. And then we have this little ornament. So I do needlepoint ornaments, as you may have seen in some of the other shows, and I'll talk about later on. But so this is one way where just a fun little ornament that I made. Instead of hanging them up on my tree, I've got him right here, front and center, kind of just a playful little touch. Another thing I want to talk about is these little cones on the door. So we've got these lovely little flower cones, and they are filled with roses, and just add a fun little beautiful festive touch. And I'm going to show you how to make some downstairs in my craft room in just a little bit. We're going to make all kinds. These are sort of elegant to go with our setting, but we have examples of other fun things that you might like to make for your space. So you'll notice at each end of this rather narrow dining space, I've got a piece of furniture that I use to store linens, so table linens and serving platters, that sort of thing. And then it's awesome for using to serve for lunch, dinner, dessert, whatever. So I usually have it set up with a buffet here. So as designers, we're all about creativity. So I wanted to bring you back to this kitchen dining space again and show you just a couple other fun options and ideas for table settings for Valentine's Day. So this is a much simpler setting. So we don't want it to be as formal. We want it to be maybe a little more playful. So what we've done is no tablecloth on this, and we've just used a Hester and Cook table runner down the center. So it's paper, it's bright and fun. It's something that can be used for Valentine's Day or a birthday party. It's just a fun idea to add color to your table in an inexpensive way. In addition to our striped table runner, we've got our towers with Gerber daisies, and of course our frogs. So we have these funny little ceramic frogs that I've made different little hats for. We have different crowns on different frogs, and then even one with a regular kind of super party hat and a big tassel on the end of him. So we all think about kissing the frog and how waiting for our Prince Charming. And so we have our table set with all kinds of frogs, and it just is a little bit, to me, it's funny. In addition to just our standard white dishes and chargers, we've got these simple little heart plates with a fun little ornament on top that just feels festive and that you could have as a take-home gift for your family or your friends. This setting perhaps feels younger and more celebratory and almost like welcome to the Valentine party. I just want to share a simple creative idea on what we've used for our centerpiece vases in this table setting. So this table setting is sort of fun and poppy, very party-ish, young again. But what we've done here that is kind of a fun idea that you could all do as well is we took a Valentine box. So this is just like Target or any craft store has these Valentine boxes that kids can assemble and make into different shapes. And we cut a bigger opening, put them together, put a bigger opening, and then put a vase inside for our flowers. And it just makes a fun, simple, inexpensive, cute, playful vase for your centerpiece. To go along with our garden Valentine scene, we'd added our little playful pots, felt pots, and these are from World Market, and put flowers inside them, little teeny vases with flowers inside. And then we have daisy napkin rings and of course our little garden frogs. So very simple, very clean. Most of the things you can use for other holidays or throughout the season, with the exception of our fun little Valentine vases. Coming through the kitchen, we're going to end up here at our breakfast banquet area. And I have this set up for a morning breakfast or a cookie party for my grandkids. And so you see things being very light and fresh and playful and very young. And what we've got going on here is we've got little heart ornaments, and we've got our fun little pussy willow branches, and it's set up with fun little bee plates, and then also these little scalloped paper plates and chargers, fun little heart napkins, and then of course another one of my needlepoint accessories. So these are not ornaments, these are little stand-up. It's a little village, a little chapel of love, and a little flower shop, and the little characters that go along with it. So these were little fun little needlepoint designs that I did years ago, and then am slowly adding to stitching the others that go with the village. But you can see they sort of are front and center, kind of, and make a fun little addition, my little crafty addition to a normal table setting. The other fun thing about this is we all think of these little candy hearts when we think of Valentine's Day as a kid especially. And so I've taken a little garland of these little wooden Valentines and cut it apart to make just these little separate ornaments that then I can place about the table and tie onto the packages, and it just makes your budget go farther, and it's just a playful way to have a lot of ornaments in one string that you can take apart. I also did that here on my chandelier. If you remember at Christmas time, I hung the little lovely stars, and this was actually a garland, and I cut it apart, put little silver thread and hung them to just give a little fanciful look here to our space. So throughout the table you will see my fun mugs that have sweaters on them. So is there anything better than to drink your hot chocolate out of a sweater mug? There's just something super fun and sweet about them. Next we have little piñatas. So kids love piñatas. So we have these tiny piñatas filled with candy and little toys, fun little trinkets like erasers, things like that are just fun little surprise for the table and for the grandkids. So now let's move into the family room. Follow me. Now we're in the family room, and I just wanted things to be very simple. Because the table settings are so elaborate and so detailed, I wanted to give you space to breathe. So we just kind of left things pretty much like they are, and then added just a few simple touches of pink candles, red tulips, our little packages, and then just a simple little decor above the fireplace. Trying to keep things super calm in here. So coming from the family room, we go to the outside porch. And this is a deck that when we remodeled, we added. And it's really only 12 feet, but it functions tremendously well for our family, for both casual dining and then also just hanging out. So it's sort of a great use of space for 12 feet in depth. This table setting is set for family or friends for lunch or for dinner. And what we've done here is our normal white dishes, a charger, and these fun plates from Williams-Sonoma. Just a little floral pattern, and it adds a touch of femininity, and they can be used not just at Valentine's Day, but any time of the year. But what does add the Valentine touch is our little heart napkins, and then our beautiful heart boxes are actually a Target find that we have retrofitted, and I will show you how we did this in our craft room. So we've added, so it's fun, we have candy inside, a little card on the top, and we've done a fun applique to the bottom, a little decoupage exercise. In addition to these lovely little heart boxes, we have our planters that we have burned messages into. One says KB loves CB, and the other one says I love you, but you could do any sort of message you want, and we're also going to show you how to do that in the craft room. And it just makes a fun surprise to the table. You could carve all sorts of messages. In addition, we have doodlebug candy spread throughout and different sorts of flowers. So it just feels fun and fresh and Valentine-ish. Although we purchased these, I'm going to show you how to make some of your own in the craft room. These can be used for gifts or flowers. You can see I have them hanging on the back of the chairs and also on the back of the doors. And they're just super fun and announce the holiday. I have 5 grandchildren and sometimes up to 9 grandchildren because my eldest daughter is also a foster parent, and so sometimes she'll show up with 9 children under 10. So I've set the table today in hopes that they're coming by and I want them to feel special and loved and cared about on Valentine's Day. And so in this case, we've done some very simple, funny things. We used Mr. Potato Head mugs and stuffed them with daisies, and we used our banana float boats and filled them with candy and put little heart plates. So one of the best parts about this table setting is our black table runner that is from Hester & Cook, and it's super fun. We have chalk markers, and so the table can share a box of chalk markers and write messages to each other. Or silly sayings. To make our table extra fun, we've used banana napkins, and we've also used little bug candles everywhere. So everything just has sort of a sense of playfulness and unexpected Valentine decor. Patio, I want to show you what we've done in our outside pool cabana. This little French cart is a cart I typically have outside by my front gate, but for the occasion we brought it here by the cabana because we thought it would be more fun and festive. For our table setting, we just have a round table with rattan chairs, and we've actually used a bed quilt as our tablecloth here. So we are often improvising when we can't find exactly what we want for our tablecloth and we don't want to have something custom made. Then I'll often resort to using quilts or sheets or just yards of fabric, throwing it over a table. And in this case, it makes a super fun tablecloth for us, and then we've got an undercloth that hits the ground, but it kind of works super perfect in this space. Got all kinds of daisies and Gerber daisies, again, fun packages. And above the fireplace, we've got 3 different garlands by all different manufacturers that we've combined, and of course a heart-shaped balloon because balloons seem to be super trendy and popular, and it just added that sense of party and fun to our small space. On the back of the chairs, I've got these little mailboxes that were actually from Pottery Barn Kids years ago, and they just are super fun to be able to put little notes inside, and of course my grandkids love them. So we've got different versions around the table, and it just makes it fun to leave notes in for the ones you love. So welcome to my craft room, and I'm going to show you how we put together some of the little goodie bags and things that we did upstairs on the table settings, and then I'm also going to show you some fun Valentine gift ideas. I find inspiration for new Valentine projects everywhere. I literally see them all year long, and I will look at something and think, oh, that's so fun, I need to save that. In fact, you'll see I have boxes that are well constructed, and I save them knowing I can make a Valentine box out of it. Or for instance, these little guys, I see something, and obviously this looks like a heart, but all kinds of things make me think, oh, what can I make out of it? And then particularly if I see something that reminds me of someone that I love, then I love to use it as a gift for them. And so I will collect those things literally throughout the year. But almost anything, an image, a lace, a trim, anything can be an inspiration for some sort of creative endeavor on my part. All the things I'm going to show you today can be adapted for other holidays or other occasions. And you will see, and in fact, I don't mind pointing out as we go along, I'm going to show you some different options, just so you think, oh gosh, maybe I don't sew, or maybe I don't like cutting out little things. Here are other ways to think about using the same concept as a gift or as a craft. So we'll start with something as simple as a little plant that we were able to pick up just like this at the grocery store or Trader Joe's, something like that. And then what we've done is customize 2 different plants so you could see how we personalized it and made it a much more thoughtful gift. So in this case, we take our little plant out, unwrap it, and we put it in a lovely pot, put a little velvet ribbon, put a Valentine and some little ornaments, and it becomes just a sweet, sweet little table setting. It could be a centerpiece, it could be a gift for a friend. And then our second one, we did the same thing. We took our little potted plant, in this case our tulips, and we put them in these little bark planters, and these are available from most craft stores or a supply place, a garden supply place. And so this is super fun because we can carve it like a tree. So you saw the planters upstairs, and you can initial it where it looks like it's been carved into a tree by just using this little heat tool. And so I'll show you, my heat tool is heating up, and I'm going to unplug them for a minute, so I won't be able to do it quite like I normally would, but you could basically say whoever your love is, you know, Jamie loves Susie or whatever it is, you could put initials, KB loves CB, and so you heat up your little tool. There's different little ends that you can buy for this. You can buy one of these at a craft store, and then you literally are just writing with it, and it looks like you've carved into a tree. So honestly, I think this is like a very simple but romantic gift. You have to be careful with it, but it's kind of super fun, very simple. You could write all kinds of messages on here. And I would say one word of advice is that the smoother the planter is, the easier it is to carve in. And when it's got a lot of texture to it, it's kind of super pretty, but it's just harder to and you're not carving, you're actually burning into it. So you have to be a little bit careful with it. But, so we have our K, hopefully you can read that, KB plus CB. To make this extra personal as well, we also made our own little tags. And so this is just little craft paper with a stamped XO and little tape on here, and then you can write your message, and it's tied on with twine. But it just looks a little more crafty and homemade, and like you wanted to do something special. The next thing we want to talk about is these little boxes that are just these little cute Target boxes that I picked up, and I thought, oh, what could I do that would be fun with these? And so to make it special, what we did was I found an image that I thought just looked like, oh, we're, you know, fainting in love over here, and so we just traced it around the image where we wanted. So this was just an image out of a book that we thought was lovely, sort of look romantic, and would be something sort of my girlfriends might like. And so we just literally traced around it, cut it out, and then we decoupaged it on the bottom of it. So we just placed it on the bottom, and see how cute and surprising that looks. And with that, we just brushed it on with a Mod Podge. And so it dries, we use the flat so it dries clear, and it's just this fun little surprise when you turn it over on the bottom. Then we tied on a ribbon with, again, a little romantic tag, and we filled it with chocolate. So you could fill it with whatever you wanted, but it makes a fun little keepsake and a nice little thing for the table, or a nice little thing that you could give a girlfriend. And these could also be spray painted if you wanted to give it a totally different look. For us, the red looked, we thought it was super cute, and it was an easy craft because it was something we could pick up and then just add to, kind of like these, like personalize it, but it makes it very simple and just an easier thing to do. I may have an overall objective when I'm starting something, but I think the fun of it is when you get into it and you start discovering, oh, well, isn't this beautiful? I think I'll try this. And then you think, oh, well, wait a minute, that would be more beautiful if I added a button or if I added a trim. It's very similar to what I do as a job, where I'm thinking about creating overall, what is my objective and my look, but then also how do those details come together to add and make it special. I think of Valentine's Day maybe differently than some people. Valentine's Day, it feels like the least romantic day to me. I mean, someone having to bring roses and having to show up with candy doesn't feel very authentic to me. And I think love is in the nuances of behavior. It's a look, it's a knowing, it's someone knowing you well. And so for me, it is not, Valentine's Day is not the most romantic day of the year, but it's a day that I love because I get to share my love for all of the people that I love. So it's super fun for me as a creative person to make these little gifts and do these little things that say, oh, I love you, and I want you to know that you are so loved by me. So here's a simple little gift that I made for my son. So my son lives in New York City. He's a guy, so he's not gonna want pink, he's not gonna want red. So what I did for him that I think is a fun creative idea that works across the board in all kinds of ways. I basically saw this fun vintage map of New York City, and my son lives about here in the city, and I thought, and this is a rather new experience for him, he loves it, and so I thought it would be fun to use this map. We copied it. We copied it onto a tag board and then cut it out to a size. I ordered this little tray, and this is a little tray that's magnetized on the back side. And so I cut the image to the size that I wanted it, making sure that I had the location where my son lives and that he might want to remember. And then I cut it out and put it I just slipped it in, and it's magnetized. So, and then I'm going to show you how it's wrapped, and then I'll take it off so you could see it. And then to make it like super kind of fun and masculine, I've got a fun little note card and with this cutout with a heart, and it's going to say, "I love New York, but not as much as you." And so this will be just a sweet little thing, and then the idea is that he can use it to put his glasses, sunglasses, his keys, little things that change, things like that. And I'm going to unwrap it. I wanted you to see how pretty it was wrapped up. So one thing with this is once I'm finished with the gift, of course, I kind of can't help but decorate it by the way I wrap it. And so one thing to note here is that I've used a couple different kinds of ribbon, and then even a little leather strip, and I tied it on with various tags that some I made, some I bought, and then even put beads on the end just to make it feel special. But I wanted you to see what it is. So it basically is just a little small tray that you could put your sunglasses, your glasses, your keys, whatever, set it by your door, inside your dresser if you want, if you don't want to look at it. But it's just a little memento of this is where he was at this time in his life. But this is an idea that I think is so fun because you can use it in so many ways. This works for a guy, or maybe it isn't where they live, but maybe it's a favorite spot that they've been, or a romantic place that you've been with someone. So it's an image that can be magnetized to the back. So super fun. Another way that I would use this is by doing a needle point. Like if this was for a girlfriend, here's a different tray, and this guy is not magnetized on the back. He does not have a separate thing on the back, but if he did, then this would be a fun idea for a girlfriend that would maybe like something that I needle pointed for her. And another idea is you could do cross stitch, and it could be a cross stitch Valentine design that went in there. So there's a lot of different things you could do, including a photograph or something. So I just wanted you to see what a fun sort of masculine idea this could be, or feminine, and it doesn't necessarily need to be just for Valentine's Day. So my next project is a funny tray for my girlfriend, and I just found this image in a book, and somehow I just get inspired by funny images that I think are funny or would be fun to play with. So this was this looked like a little seance image, and I had to photocopy him bigger and then kind of doctor him up a little bit, and then I cut him out so he was totally cut out. And then I decided that on my tray I had this little simple white tray that I spray painted to spruce him up. I cut some fun little Indian paper that is going to be decoupaged on here. So again, I'm going to use my great little bookbinding PVA type of glue to glue him down. And then what happens next is I'm going to glue this on top. So when that dries, I've got my little seance happening. And then I had some bubbles. So on Canva, we made these funny comments and then these will be decoupaged on. And I couldn't help myself, but when I looked at this, I thought, oh, this is going to be funny. So here's what we've got. We've got our little seance, and they are predicting for the future. We predict hot, passionate, sexy love in your future. And this one's commenting, oh my. And this one's saying he's trying not to visualize that. So this is all going to get decoupage. So it'll be just like the bottom of our little heart. It's going to feel nice and smooth. I'll put several coats on there, and then it'll be a great place for my girlfriend to serve her martinis or margaritas, don't you think? So upstairs, as we walked through the spaces, I showed you a couple different flower cones, and I told you that we would come downstairs and I would tell you how we made them. I want to show you this guy. So this guy is kind of super fun and special. This I made for a girlfriend, and I used this fun paper that has bird cages and flowers on it, and I put a fun velvet ribbon here, a silk ribbon here, and we've got these little ranunculus flowers. We tied on a little glitter ornament. And then, of course, my card says it's two women looking at each other, and they have bird cages on the top of their heads. And the girlfriend is saying to the other girlfriend, trust me, that is totally hot, about a bird cage. So, of course, we have the bird cage paper with the birds on top. And so I think he's funny, I think he's charming, and I would accompany him with another little note card that I made, that I stamped. And so this would be my little sweet Valentine gift to my girlfriend. Another example of this, in case you don't like something quite so vintage, here's a more modern version. And in this case, we have paper that has got different quotes by poets and philosophers, and it's a smaller cone. And then we accompany it with a little card and tied on with a felt heart. And then inside, I just wanted to show you, I didn't get to quite finish it with its little ribbon strap, but I wanted to show you that these little guys could be used for different things besides just flowers. And in this case, I've got a little fun zebra purse inside, and this would also be for a girlfriend. And inside the little purse, it's just a funny little thing, whoops, comes a little comb and a brush and a mirror. Little teeny, and a lipstick, of course. Little teeny guys inside that. Just what every girl needs is a purse with these funny little guys inside. So just again, like sweet, funny little gift. Not a big expensive thing, but thoughtful and fun and sweet. And you could take a favorite poem of yours or a favorite book and do something with it. You could also fill it with cookies. Anyway, all kinds of things that you could do with that. And I wanted to show you how simple. So you basically can order these cones on Amazon, and then you roll it on the paper, and it is easiest if you line it up straight with the paper like this, and then you roll it. And you could see at that it really doesn't take, it takes about a half a sheet of paper, and then along the way I use a paintbrush, and I use this kind of glue. I use like book binding paper arts glue. So that kind of glue will not wrinkle your paper. It dries fast and strong and keeps things super smooth. So then basically then you cut that, and then this can be turned under, and I score these edges and then turn it under. And so here's a bigger one that I've started, and you could see I've got a pretty paper wrapped around it, and if I'm in my craft room and I'm just hunting around, what do I want to do? I might take a fun little button or something like this, a ribbon tie, and this could have lots of, I would probably use several different kinds of ribbon. And then to look more Valentine-ish, I would use this sort of lace, these little doily laces, and this is actually like to use on the bottom of a cake. So these are the little things that you put down and then put a cake on top. They're not actually little Valentine doilies, but they work kind of perfectly in something like this. So this is the start of it. Actually, this is the start of it. This is the next stage where the paper is on, and then I also put an inside, and then my next stage would be to decorate this and fill it with flowers or cookies or whatever my friend I think would like. So my last little gift idea is to take a pair of pajamas, and I do this often because I feel like you can't go wrong with pajamas. Doesn't everyone love pajamas? I love pajamas, so I think the whole world loves pajamas. But I found these cute pink and white striped pajamas with this little cat peeking out of the pocket. And he comes in a bag that has a cat on top too, so super adorable presentation. And then, so it's pants and a top, pajamas, and so these I'm giving to my daughters for Valentine's Day. And what I did to make them special is I embroidered on the bottom, on the cuff, I embroidered XOXO Love Mom. I put a little button on here, and I've got Mom on here, and I did it in a way where it's not for everyone else, but it's for them. As they're sitting in bed and reading or doing something, and they look down, the embroidery's on their arm, on their right hand, so they can be reminded, Mom loves you. Homeworthy, it's been so fun having you visit today and sharing my Valentine ideas with you. I hope your day is filled with love. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.